Welcome to Dub Nation, your home for all things Golden State Warriors. Highlights, hot takes, and pure Dubs energy. Join the squad. This is where champions live.
Listen, you don't want to take any credit away from the Golden State Warriors. Let me be very, very clear about that. Steph Curry was spectacular, especially late. Jimmy Butler was spectacular. Draymond Green had, I think, double digits in assists, and obviously he was doing what he does defensively. Give the Warriors all the credit in the world, but in the same breath, let's make sure we understand partially anyway. Isn't there who's a big cog for them? I would just look at it from that standpoint, not taking anything away from the Golden State Warriors.
The Golden State Warriors aren't just hanging around in the 2024-25 season. They're on a relentless, fire-breathing mission to reclaim NBA supremacy. Forget the squad you ridiculed during their December collapse. This is a team reborn, scarred by adversity, and ravenous for a fifth championship. They finished at 48-34, securing 7th in the Western Conference and 4th in the Pacific Division. But those numbers barely hint at their saga. They erupted with a 12-3 start, plummeted through a soul-crushing 4 the 9th of December, and then ignited a 23-8 surge after acquiring Jimmy Butler in a blockbuster trade that rocked the league. This isn't a team riding a fluke. It's a dynasty clawing its way back to greatness. Steph Curry, still the game's deadliest marksman, averaged 24, 5 points and 6. 0 assists in just 32 minutes per game. His gravity-bending defenses like never before. Jimmy Butler, a playoff predator, delivered 19, 2 points, 6, 2 rebounds, and 5, 2 assists across 11 postseason games, proving he's the perfect co-star. The young core answered the call. Jonathan Kuminga exploded for 15. 3 points in the playoffs. Buddy Hield unleashed a 33-point, 9-3 barrage in Game 7 against Houston, and Brandon Podziemski contributed 11 3 points per game with fearless hustle. Draymond Green, with 4 steals, and 9 blocks in the postseason, remains the defensive linchpin who bows to no one. This roster is deep, lethal, and built for war. If you're still doubting the Warriors, you're about to be silenced. But can this blazing resurgence survive the merciless intensity of playoff basketball? Let's dive into why the Warriors are engineered for the postseason grind and the hidden flaw that could incinerate their dreams. Playoff basketball isn't a game-mates, a savage crucible where only the strongest endure. The Warriors. They're tailor-made for this mayhem. Here's a stat flying under the radar. Turnover margin is the lifeblood of playoff success. Teams that protect the ball win 73% of postseason games, compared to just 59% in the regular season. Golden State has cracked this code. After Butler's arrival, their turnover rate stabilized at 14.1%, and their offensive rebounding a monstrous 31.4% of available board secures, extra possessions that crush opponents' spirits. This isn't a team coasting on highlight reel threes. They're nailing contested mid-range jumpers, sinking impossible long-range bombs, and storming the paint with ruthless aggression. It's the blueprint that propelled the Thunder and Pacers to the 2025 Finals, and the Warriors are executing it flawlessly. Their 4-1 first-round thrashing of the second-seeded Houston Rockets proves Hield's 33-point eruption, Butler's lockdown defense, and Curry's ice-cold daggers dismantled a supposed powerhouse. Draymond Green, still a defensive genius, anchors a unit that thrives in do-or-die moments, staring down superstars like Kevin Durant or James Harden without flinching. The Warriors don't just compete, they dominate when the stakes are highest, their chemistry honed through months of adversity. But even the mightiest Warriors have vulnerabilities. Let's dissect the fatal flaw that could unravel this juggernaut and expose their Achilles heel. Picture this nightmare. Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals, Steph Curry collapses, and the Warriors' championship dreams implode. Against the Minnesota Timberwolves, their offensive efficiency cratered from 124 to a dismal 104.6 without Curry. 4 straight losses followed, and the dynasty looked fragile. Jimmy Butler fought valiantly, averaging 19.2 points, but he couldn't fill the void. The Wolves' athleticism and depth overwhelmed them, shooting 62.8% in the series-clinching game. It was a stark wake-up call. The Warriors' fate hinges on Curry's health. Here's a truth that'll spark heated arguments. This team is perilously reliant on Steph. When he's on, they're a +1. Sept, net rating juggernaut. When he's out, they're exposed. Minnesota's length and toughness laid bare this weakness, and at 36, Curry's durability is a gamble. Butler, also 36, can't shoulder the offense alone. Father Time is knocking, and one more injury could obliterate this title chase. The front office is racing to address this, eyeing versatile wings and bigs to bolster depth, but time is running out. This isn't just a roster flaw, it's a ticking time bomb that could shatter their legacy. Yet, from this crushing defeat, the Warriors forged resilience. Let's explore how their playoff matchups could catapult them to glory, send them spiraling into oblivion. The NBA playoffs are a strategic battlefield, and the Warriors are master tacticians. Their edge, exploiting youthful inexperience. Teams like Oklahoma City or Minnesota Athletic, brash but untested air prime targets. Curry, Butler, and Draymond, hardened by finals battles and Game 7 wars, outwit younger foes. A first-round clash with the Thunder would be a bloodbath. Golden State's basketball IQ, backdoor cuts, and relentless pace would shred OKC's defense. Minnesota exposed flaws, but with Curry healthy, the Warriors' shooting and spacing would turn the tables. Draymond versus Rudy Gobert would be a clash of titans, a defensive showdown that defines playoff basketball. Even Denver, with Nikola Jokic's 50-point potential, doesn't faze them. The Warriors can swarm Jokic with Draymond, Kevon Looney, Trace Jackson-Davis, and Kuminga switching in pick and rolls. Let him score, but stifle his playmaking, exhaust him, and watch him fade. They're +1, 7 net rating, and 36. 6%, three-point shooting post-Butler scream, versatility. But here's the controversial take that'll ignite debates. The Lakers are their kryptonite. LeBron James, still swaying referees, and a 50-32 Lakers squad mask their danger. If the whistles tilt sway, the Warriors could stumble. Yet, Steve Kerr's undefeated Game 7 record proves this team thrives under pressure. The Suns, Clippers, Kings, and Pelicans. Broken or irrelevant. Dallas. Aluka Kiria Mirage, too one-dimensional. The Warriors' depth, spacing, and experience outclass them all. But a championship demands more than matchups. It requires an unbreakable spirit. Let's uncover the secret weapon that makes this Warriors team unstoppable in the face of adversity. This Warriors squad isn't just skilled, they're sculpted by adversity. The December collapse, the heart-pounding Game 7 against Houston. The Minnesota devastation, these weren't setbacks. They were forging moments. Their 5-7 record in the last 10 playoff games masks the truth. Every loss built mental fortitude. Curry's injury forced Butler to lead, Kuminga to grow, and Podziemski to shine. This team has faced the abyss and emerged fiercer. Curry's $62 million extension signals, he's chasing more rings. Butler sent Vite, $1 million deal screams all-in commitment. Draymond, still drawing charges and outsmarting opponents, anchors a defense that held teams under 100 points 7 times post-Butler. The front office is scouring for size. Malik Beasley, Bruce Brown types to plug rebounding gaps exposed by Minnesota. They're not coasting on past glory. They're consumed by a hunger for immortality. Kerr, with over 100 playoff wins, coaches a roster that's tasted defeat's bitterness and victory's thrill. Every practice, every film session, every locker room tweak has built a squad that laughs in the face of pressure. The Warriors aren't just playing for a title, they're fighting to etch their names in history, a legacy that will echo for generations. But can they overcome the ultimate test? Let's reveal the final verdict on whether the Warriors are destined for championship glory. A catastrophic collapse. The Golden State Warriors are no pretenders, they're a championship colossus, underseeded but overperforming. Their 48-34 record, +1. 7 net rating, and battle-hardened core scream finals potential. Curry's health is the linchpin, but with Butler, Draymond, and a young core tempered by Game 7 pressure, they're built for the grind. The Western Conference is a treacherous landscape. OKC, Denver, Minnesota, perhaps LeBron's Lakers, but the Warriors' versatility, grit, and playoff IQ give them the upper hand. If Curry stays healthy, they'll hoist the trophy in 2025, cementing their dynasty. But one question looms like a storm cloud. Can they survive another Curry injury? The front office must secure that missing wing or stretch big to counter Minnesota's athleticism. Success means eternal glory. Failure means a devastating collapse. This is their defining moment, Will. They seize it or buckle under the weight of their legacy. The Warriors are in relentless pursuit, shaped by scars, driven by hunger, and poised to silence every doubter. When they storm the finals, this summer's skepticism will look utterly foolish. They're not just cooking, they're bringing an inferno. Drop your predictions below, smash that like button, and subscribe for more NBA fire. This is Dub Nation, where Warriors never back down. Hit that like, drop a comment, and stay locked in for the next big play. Till next time, Dubs out.